A wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of a 12-year-old girl who was killed while paddleboarding in Mission Bay.
Nearly 1 year since 12-year-old Savannah was killed when a jet ski ran her over while she was paddleboarding on Mission Bay. Her family has now filed a wrongful death lawsuit.
The defendant was traveling 10 times the speed limit, going about 50 miles per hour in a 5-mile-per-hour zone when he hit the young female on the paddleboard.
The man accused in her death, 19-year-old Arsenius Gali, is charged with felony vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence. He was arrested in November, about 4 months after the crash. On Tuesday, he appeared in court and pleaded not guilty during his second arraignment.
And enter a not guilty plea and deny all allegations.
Just the day before, Savannah's parents filed a suit alleging her wrongful death was caused by Gali and 9 others, including the city, state, the 2 owners of the jet skis, 2 others riding the jet skis with Gali, and Offer Up, the platform the jet skis were allegedly rented through. The wrongful death lawsuit claims that just 8 minutes before the deadly incident, a San Diego lifeguard pulled over Gali and 2 others on the 2 jet skis for excessive speed and reckless operation.
We advise everyone to take their responsibilities and their operation of such watercraft seriously to avoid tragic incidents like the one in this case.
The victim's family said in a statement, quote, "We filed this lawsuit to hold people and entities accountable, to create and maintain safe places, and to follow and enforce the laws that are meant to protect us all."
So I know a lot of people get upset about, bringing a civil case like this against the defendant driver, the jet ski, or the company that owned it or rented it, and why is it their problem? In these lawsuits where you name all these other entities, the law forces you to name them and bring them into this suit, and you can always let them go. But until you understand the facts, you read the contract or understand the agreement or all the facts leading up to it, it would be foolish to not include everybody in that chain. As it turns out, through the discovery process, that somebody doesn't have liability for it and it's not appropriate, you let them go. That's fine. But to not include them, you're waiving that, and you really can't undo that sometimes. So that would be foolish on the part of any lawyer. But the bottom line, this whole thing is about being safe when you reasonably expect people to, and holding people accountable for being reckless and killing somebody. If in the criminal case it's established that he's found guilty, whether through a plea or a jury trial or whatever, then you've established that he is responsible for that death. And so in the civil suit, that's helpful for establishing liability. It becomes basically kind of fixed. And then the issue becomes, are there any other entities that are liable, and what is the appropriate amount of damages? It involves a number of factors to actually arrive at a number, but unfortunately, it's going to be against a 19-year-old kid who doesn't have a lot in the way of assets. What's probably going to happen is the plaintiff is going to go after the defendant's parents and their homeowner's insurance, and that will probably provide coverage. If he's a resident relative will have coverage under the homeowner's insurance. That's why these cases can be kind of tricky, is finding the money for the judgment or insurance or any of those kinds of assets. And the city may in fact have some liability in this as well, which they were kind of getting at. The police had pulled them over, and obviously they didn't cite him or do anything from what it sounds like, but they saw and were aware of the reckless behavior, and within 8 minutes to have killed somebody, there's a story in there that we're not getting the whole story yet. And obviously that will come out through either the criminal case or the depositions and discovery in the civil case. This is about accountability. If you're profiting from something that's potentially dangerous and not taking reasonable precautions to avoid hurting other people, then you should be held liable. If this was your kid, you would absolutely feel differently. If you're violating the law by speeding in these boating zones, and everybody knows these things do not stop quickly. They don't have brakes. One of the objectives, I think, for the people in this case is going to be to see that there are more safety precautions and things like that involved in these kinds of transactions, where somebody either lends or rents a jet ski by saying, hey, look, you need to read this and understand the rules. These little steps, and that's how things have evolved for all kinds of different industries because we've required people to make it safer. When it's foreseeable that somebody could get injured, that's how we make these changes and hopefully make the world a little bit better place so parents aren't losing their children. I suspect that there is going to be a pretty large judgment against this guy on behalf of the family of the girl who died. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And while you're down there, please like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching.